This is a song called Clay Pigeons.
Tragedy can strike any corner of the music world, but few genres have endured as many shocking farewells as country. Behind down-home melodies and heartfelt lyrics, there's a darker side overshadowed by abrupt endings. Some performers soared to legendary status, only to be cut down mid-flight, literally. Others quietly wrestled with inner demons until their final day. In nearly every case, fans are left to sift through rumors, recollections, and haunting last songs that feel more poignant than ever. This is a story of 21 country-influenced singers who didn't reach age 50. Their reasons for leaving this realm vary: plane crashes, crippling addictions, sudden violence, and hidden illnesses. Each tale carries a weight that reshaped the genre's narrative and forced listeners to question the cost of fame. The music might be timeless, but these individuals were flesh and bone, vulnerable to missteps or tragedies lurking in the wings. We'll examine their backgrounds, the circumstances surrounding their passings, and the legacies that now define them. Though heartache anchors their stories, there's inspiration too. A call for deeper compassion, better mental health awareness, and safer roads for those who chase the spotlight. The reality is raw. Behind the gilded image, real lives unfold, often without the safety net the fans imagine. By the end, you may feel a renewed admiration for the power of a well-sung ballad or an up-tempo honky-tonk favorite. These songs are more than just radio fodder. They stand as evidence of lives that burned brightly, but ended far too soon. In country music's earlier decades, small charters became vital for performers managing breakneck touring schedules. Yet these open skies often concealed peril. Patsy Cline, revered for her timeless vocals, died at 30 in a 1963 plane crash. She'd survived a serious car wreck just a few years prior, but treacherous weather and pilot error proved fatal. Jim Reeves met a similar end a year later. Nicknamed Gentleman Jim for his polished voice, he stood on the cusp of even greater acclaim, only to vanish at 40 in another flight, gone awry. Fans still reel from these twin tragedies, which stripped away two luminaries far too soon. Buddy Holly, bridging the gap between country and rock, also lost his life mid-air. In 1959, at just 22, he boarded a small plane that never reached its destination. The crash reverberated through music history as the day the music died. While Buddy leaned pop rock, his early style drew heavily from country, paving the way for countless crossover acts. After these high-profile catastrophes, fear of private flights rippled through the industry. Still, the promise of rapid travel remained compelling. Many artists, crunched by touring demands, felt they had no choice but to climb aboard, praying luck would favor them. Those lost in plane crashes changed the country music landscape forever. Patsy's riveting tone, Jim's flawless phrasing, and Buddy's daring experimentation are still referenced by modern singers, illustrating how legends never truly fade. However, these crashes proved how swiftly fortune can shift. One moment, a star is ascending; the next, wreckage and headlines confirm a devastating loss. In a genre built on raw emotion, these airborne tragedies remain some of the most haunting chapters, reminding every performer that the route to fame can carry risks that no degree of stardom can erase. For some country icons, fame collided with powerful addictions that cast a long shadow over their careers. Hank Williams, the genre's original superstar, died at 29 from heart failure. Yet many point to his heavy alcohol and painkiller use as the catalyst. He struggled with chronic back issues and stage fright, fueling a dependence that eventually outran his talent. Often performing in a haze, Hank veered between triumph and disaster, culminating in that lonely final ride in the back seat of a Cadillac. Graham Parsons, known for blending country, rock, and folk into the groundbreaking cosmic American music, also fell to substance abuse. At 26, he OD'd in a motel near Joshua Tree. His circle kept secrets, and rumor has it his manager tried to cremate Graham's body in the desert. Though bizarre, this tale underlines how chaos surrounded Parsons's final days. Despite his short life, his influence on alt country endures. Justin Townes Earle, son of Steve Earle, wrestled with lifelong demons that seeped into his raw, confessional songwriting. In 2020, at 38, he OD'd, leaving fans heartbroken but not entirely surprised. He'd spoken openly about relapses and the difficulty of staying sober while touring. Eddie Shaver, likewise the talented son of Billy Joe Shaver, succumbed to heroin at 38, never fully escaping its grip despite moments of clarity on stage. A more recent tragedy occurred in 2022 when Luke Bell, only 32, died from an accidental fentanyl OD. Known for a free-spirited sound that recalled earlier eras of country, Luke frequently vanished from the public eye. His final disappearance ended in heartbreak, reigniting debates about mental health and synthetic opioid dangers. These stories highlight a grim truth. Star power can't protect an artist from addiction's lethal pull. Fans honor the music, yet the haunting question remains: might these legends have broken free if someone intervened sooner? Not all substance battles involve illegal drugs. For some country talents, alcohol proved every bit as deadly. Keith Whitley stood at the forefront of a new traditionalist wave, praised for an achingly pure voice. Hits like "Don't Close Your Eyes" resonated with fans who sensed authenticity in every note. Yet behind the scenes, Keith was often unable to manage his fierce cravings for liquor. Even close friends sometimes found him dangerously intoxicated at unexpected times. In 1989, at 34, he drank himself to death, discovered unresponsive at home. The shock rippled through Nashville, leaving many to wonder if the industry had overlooked warning signs. David Alexander might be less renowned globally, but his admirers adored him for an earnest stage presence that blended classic country elements with modern twists. Away from the spotlight, he struggled with binge drinking, drifting in and out of rehab attempts that never stuck. At 27, alcohol took his life. In the wake of his death, some promoters revealed they'd been hesitant to book him, worried about erratic behavior. The mounting pressure, combined with personal woes, likely fueled his downfall. The heartbreak lies in how legal and socially accepted drinking can be, especially in country circles where a glass of whiskey is a cultural staple. For Keith, fans still mourn a star who, at 34, seemed poised to redefine country music. Many up-and-coming singers cite him as a key influence, noting the emotional rawness in his catalog. For David, smaller fan bases keep his memory alive, lamenting an unfulfilled destiny. In a genre that frequently romanticizes honky-tonk nights and heartbreak drowned in booze, these cautionary tales echo loudly. The line between a celebratory shot and a spiraling routine is razor thin. Whitley and Alexander remind us that success doesn't inoculate anyone against a final, fatal bender. When internal pain escalates beyond bearing, some artists take their own lives, leaving fans shocked and searching for answers. Mindy McCready's meteoric rise in the mid-1990s heralded a bold new voice with hits that hinted at a bright future. Yet she grappled with mental health issues and turbulent relationships, sparking endless tabloid headlines. In 2013, at 37, she ended her life with a gun, sparking debates about how fame and relentless media scrutiny might amplify despair. Mel Street, a revered figure of the 1970s, also chose his own exit. Known for a traditional style that recalled country's golden age, he achieved moderate chart success and a loyal audience. But as the industry shifted toward more polished sounds, Mel's career stagnated. Burdened by financial hardships and emotional strain, he offed himself at 43 in 1978. Fans who adored his heartfelt ballads were left grappling with a harsh truth. Behind that rich baritone lay severe depression. Suicide within country music exposes a grim side to an industry that often profits from heartbreak, but struggles to offer tangible support. Both Mindy and Mel displayed outward strength in public, while suffering quiet anguish away from the stage. Friends would later reveal desperate phone calls or canceled appearances that in retrospect seemed glaring warning signs. Their stories underscore the need for compassion and mental health services in a field where vulnerability is often commercialized but not always protected. While many fans wish they could rewind time to offer these artists a lifeline, the recordings left behind echo their turmoil. The question persists: if the culture around them had been more open to discussing emotional crises, might these tragedies have been avoided? The legacy of Mindy McCready and Mel Street stands as a somber reminder that some of the saddest songs reflect genuine cries for help. In certain cases, tragedy arrived not through addiction or despair, but via sudden acts of violence. Wayne Mills had a reputation for rowdy shows and passionate fans. He cultivated an outlaw spirit, playing honky-tonks that prized authenticity over polish. In 2013, at 44, Wayne was shot and killed in a Nashville bar following a reported argument. Conflicting testimonies clouded the truth, leaving many to speculate about what exactly triggered the lethal confrontation. For those who knew him, it felt surreal that a man who spent his life celebrating music and camaraderie would meet such a brutal demise. Blaze Foley's story is similarly gut-wrenching. A cult figure revered for poetic lyrics and an unfiltered approach, Blaze found a modest following in underground circles. Tales of him sleeping under pool tables or giving away his few possessions highlight a free spirit plagued by chaos. In 1989, at 39, he was shot during a dispute under unclear circumstances. Some claim he was defending a friend, others argue details remain forever tangled in rumor. Both Wayne and Blaze represented a raw creativity unconfined by mainstream norms. Their violent ends rattled a genre that prides itself on storytelling and close-knit community. Fans struggled to reconcile the brutality with the genuine warmth these artists often displayed on stage. Anger and disbelief led to long discussions about the darker realities lurking behind a seemingly tight-knit music scene. Ultimately, these deaths amplify a hard truth. Life on the road, or even at home, can unravel in a split second if heated tempers or dangerous confrontations arise. For every ballad about heartbreak, there's a real-world narrative of bullets cutting short a life full of promise. Their legacies persist in rare recordings and whispered legends, reminders that country's rebellious edge can sometimes yield fatal outcomes. While some country artists took to the skies, others stayed behind the wheel and risked a different kind of fatal danger. Johnny Horton, famed for his spirited, historical ballads, seemed unstoppable in the late 1950s. His jaunty storytelling enthralled audiences with songs like The Battle of New Orleans. But in 1960, at 35, he died in a late-night car accident. Rumors swirled that Johnny foresaw his end, pointing to eerily specific remarks about mortality. Whether fact or fable, his abrupt passing stunned a community already raw from recent aviation tragedies. Taylor Dee's death in 2021 echoed that same heartbreak. At 33, she was a rising star with a powerful voice and an unyielding drive to succeed. A single car crash wiped away her future, leaving fans grappling with the fragility of success. She'd been on the verge of broader recognition, performing in bars and festivals with the fervor of someone who knew she was destined for bigger stages. Even in earlier times, the road proved deadly. In 1963, Jack Anglin, part of the duo Johnny and Jack, lost control of his vehicle while en route to a funeral for Patsy Cline, who had herself perished in a plane crash days before. The irony was staggering. Two tragedies in quick succession, underscoring how relentless the risk could be for traveling musicians. Tour life is romanticized for its sense of freedom, open highways, roaring crowds, and the promise of adventure in every new town. Yet that same freedom carries inherent peril. Long hours, fatigue, and unpredictable roads can combine into a lethal cocktail. For Johnny, Taylor, and Jack, the highways that once symbolized opportunity became their final, tragic frontier. Their stories endure as reminders that even a simple drive can become the last journey for a star chasing a dream. Not all losses stem from sudden shocks. Some arise from health struggles that, while less headline-grabbing, are equally devastating. Carter Stanley, a foundational figure in bluegrass, died at 41 in 1966 due to liver disease. Alongside his brother Ralph, he shaped the Stanley Brothers' signature harmonies, influencing countless country and bluegrass performers. Yet years of alcohol use and inadequate medical care eroded Carter's strength. By the time he passed, he had left an indelible mark, yet fans still wonder what more he might have achieved. Brandon Jenkins, known in the red dirt scene for his distinctive vocals and heartfelt songwriting, also succumbed too soon. In 2018, complications from heart surgery ended his life at 48. Affectionately called the Red Dirt Legend, he penned songs that resonated with honesty and grit. His passing rattled a close-knit community, proving once more that even a beloved local hero isn't shielded from medical misfortune. Joey Feek's battle with cervical cancer played out in the public eye, as she and her husband Rory shared emotional updates. She died at 40 in 2016, leaving behind touching duets and an unwavering commitment to faith and family. Fans prayed for a miraculous turnaround, only to witness a heartbreaking but peaceful farewell. Then there's Jonathan Paycheck, who died at 40 in 2005 under undisclosed but likely health-related circumstances. Some say he struggled with inherited issues, but specific details never reached the mainstream. Jonathan carried a name reminiscent of the infamous Johnny Paycheck, yet carved his own modest path, hinting at a deeper talent overshadowed by poor health. In a culture that often spotlights sudden catastrophes, slow-burning ailments can be overlooked. Whether it's liver disease, heart complications, or undisclosed illnesses, these conditions rob the genre of voices that might have continued to evolve. The stories of Carter, Brandon, Joey, and Jonathan underscore that mortality can strike from within, quietly ending dreams that seemed destined to blossom further. Each of these 21 country or country-inspired artists shared an undeniable passion for storytelling. Their music ran the gamut from raw, blue-collar ballads to fresh interpretations of traditional sounds. Though death claimed them before age 50, their presence lingers, woven into the genre's fabric. Contemporary acts often cite these lost stars as pivotal influences, pointing to how heartbreak and authenticity can break commercial barriers. Hank Williams, for example, laid the groundwork for narrative-driven music that resonates with everyday struggles. Graham Parsons's fearless cross-genre experimentation led to entire subgenres of Americana. Patsy Cline's mesmerizing vocal delivery remains a benchmark, while Buddy Holly's blend of country swing and pop hooks ignited a wave of sonic hybrids. Even lesser-known names, such as David Alexander or Eddie Shaver, have dedicated followings who champion their discographies like hidden treasures waiting to be rediscovered. These tragedies also shaped industry perspectives. After repeated plane crashes, some artists demanded safer travel arrangements. Over time, mental health came under sharper scrutiny, with stories like Mindy McCready's sparking calls for resources to address the darker side of fame. Each untimely passing exposed weaknesses in how the music world sometimes prioritizes touring and record sales over an artist's well-being. Still, the lure of center stage endures. New generations dream of stardom, often idolizing the very figures whose lives ended in heartbreak. Yet their stories can serve as cautionary tales, reminding us that the price of glory can be steep. In each lost singer's repertoire, you can often hear the seeds of their downfall, songs of longing, desperation, and desire for escape. That raw, emotional honesty remains the bedrock of country music. Ultimately, these legacies prove that short-lived lives can yield timeless contributions. The final chord may have been struck too early, but the resonance of their artistry continues, connecting past and present in a haunting testament to human vulnerability. These 21 stories illuminate the fragility behind fame's bright lights. Plane crashes, addictions, violence, and illnesses cut short promising futures, leaving behind a catalog of songs that resonate with longing and regret. Each artist, despite a premature exit, etched lasting marks on country music's evolution. Their tragedies encourage deeper empathy for the pressures creatives face. They also remind us how swiftly fortune can shift, and how essential it is to cherish genuine artistry. Though absent in body, their voices endure, echoing through every heartfelt lyric that refuses to fade. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe, and also click the next video shown on your screen.